Sure.
You got to sit. You can't just fall into it, bro.
Check it out. You are now rocking with the Underappreciated Podcast, where we give the right people the flowers they deserve while they're here to smell them. But today is a very special episode because this is one that's dear to me. This is the things that raised me. You know what I'm saying? The cool shit. You know what I mean? The movies, the comic books. Anybody that's a nerd, you're gonna feel this. Nerd meaning the real cool kids. You know what I'm saying? So I mean this with my heart. I'm bringing to you somebody that's very underappreciated, damn near expendable. He'll get to that. It's a long story with that. But we got my brother. He's an actor. He's a stuntman. My brother, Dasilva.
Yo, what an introduction. That's crazy.
I gotta give you the real stuff, man, because this shit means something to me, bro.
I appreciate that.
This really
I'm happy
means.
I get to be a part of it because it also means a lot to me. You know, this is what we grew up watching, grew up like following and being a part of and wanting to be a part of and dreaming ourselves being these characters, and then I was given an opportunity to be one. So, and with me being one that then inspires the next group of people to be like, wow, that's what I want to do, or, whoa, I want to be a superhero, and they're jumping out of the movie theater, punching and kicking and full of energy, you know. Being able to give that is kind of the whole goal and, I guess, mission that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well,
yeah.
I mean, we started quick. You see how fast we start? Just like
we
my
got
boy
right
be
into
kicking
it.
ass so fast, we had to start quick. But, I mean, you know, there's a very important movie about to come out, you know. If you're familiar with Black Panther, you know, Wakanda Forever, that's part 2. But we're going to rewind back time, you know, rest in peace Chadwick Boseman, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I just want to let y'all know, my brother, Guy, the coolest friend I got,
That's crazy.
he is the Black Panther in the suit. When you see him doing all of the ill shit, it's him. Jumping out of the building, is him. Fighting Captain America, is him.
Right.
So he could tell, like, you could tell him a little bit about you. You see, we got this is real live action
we're really
shit
in my
going
backyard right now. And my pup, I have a 10-month-old puppy that doesn't know how to act yet. He just sees the lights and cameras, now he wants to perform. Of course, right?
Yeah, because we started talking about the Black Panther.
Right,
so
he was
like,
chilling until the camera came on. And he's like, oh, word? Here we go. Let's go. Lights, camera, action.
Set, Gee? Set. All right, got it. All yours. On go. Ready, and 3, 2, 1, go!
But yeah, so like, I mean, that's not the start of the career, but one of the highlights that I've reached so far in my career as a performer for film is being the stunt double for Black Panther and Captain America Civil War. So the first time you see the character, the first time we are introduced to the character, it's me and Chadwick, you know, mainly doing all the stuff. So
crazy, man.
I mean, that was a huge thing because there aren't many superheroes, or you know, that look like us.
Yeah.
In
black superheroes.
Right. Mm-hmm. You know, in these universes, these respective cinematic universes, you have DCU, you have MCU. Eventually, we'll have Image Comics universe. We'll have all these different verses, right?
Right.
But Black Panther is like one of the first ones that we've ever gotten. Like, Falcon is considered like a sidekick in a sense.
Yeah.
Whereas Black Panther was a standalone hero that was created by Stan Lee, and Marvel Studios decided to finally make a movie with this character, which was really big. We have Blade, who's an anti-hero. He's not really a hero, he's an anti-hero.
He wasn't a hero to save the day for
right,
everybody.
Exactly. Black Panther is considered to be a superhero. So first black superhero, I get the opportunity to be the guy. And now there's a whole bunch of stuff that happened before that moment. It wasn't like, oh, I just woke up one day and they're like, hey, you, guy over there, you're
gonna be Black Panther.
Yeah, you be Black Panther stunt double, right? You can do that. Go do that. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I've never done this day in my life.
But that's the superhero, the actual superhero part.
Right.
The only reason I gave him that so fast, like I did like that, because you know all these people are hype beasts. They want to hear this shit. They like.
That's facts. Let's get to it.
But we gonna rewind time like that's just a little sound bite for y'all, right? So y'all can get it started. Yeah, now click that, subscribe, and keep watching the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so let's go back to the beginning of the origins of Guy Dasilva, where you come from. You know what I'm saying? Your family upbringing, like how do you even like have interest in this type of business, you know?
Okay, so like if we're gonna start from the beginning, we have to start like from the beginning. So I grew up in Harlem, New York
Correct.
City.
Valid.
You know, my mom raised me. I was single parent home.
Yeah.
She kept me in everything. Like I had a love for martial arts growing up as a kid. Starting at the age of 3, I was trying to do sidekicks and be Bruce Lee or be Ninja Turtles or a Power Ranger, whatever it was that was kicking and punching or using a sword or nunchucks. That was who I wanted to be. So I imitated that from the beginning. So my mom threw me into martial art classes. And then on top of martial art classes, she was a performer that worked in Hollywood movies. She worked for Spike Lee films like School Days, Do the Right Thing, Malcolm X. Worked on some off-Broadway stuff. And so I came from I had a performer for a mother. So she would take me to her dance studio classes and stuff like that. So she was taking African dance, she was taking ballet or jazz, then she was also singing. And so it just kept me kind of seeing and what's the word, exposed to the different aspects of performance and artwork. And I, of course, sing around having all this energy. I can't just kick and punch all the time. I have to like eventually try to get into something, right? And I found hip hop there. I found African dance. I found how to play instruments. I also found another form of martial art outside of the Taekwondo that I was doing, capoeira, you know, which is
That's like the
Brazilian, it's Afro-Brazilian martial art, which is
playing that
part of my
Taekwondo.
origin, right? It's part of my my ancestral history.
Wow.
So of course I took more privy to that, and that eventually evolved into me doing stuff at school with plays and different programs. You know, there's a movie like with Antonio Banderas where he goes to a school in New York City and teaches them how to ballroom dance, right?
Yeah, I think I remember that.
That was an actual program that they had in public schools at the time in the 90s to early 2000s. They would have like a particular teacher come in to like teach I think it was my 4th grade class, how to do ballroom dance. So I learned ballroom dance in 4th grade. I learned ballet in 3rd grade. I learned circus arts in 2nd grade. So I was constantly like just being exposed to all these different things of movement and artistic expression using the body. My mom saw me like starting to like to do plays and stuff like that at school, and she's like, "You should do the acting thing." I was like, "No, I just want to do martial arts and be Bruce Lee. I want to be the next Bruce Lee." Not knowing that Bruce Lee's an actor. I just know Bruce Lee is Bruce Lee, right? So I always wanted to be Bruce Lee, and I was hard-headed on that aspect of like, my mom is showing me that, hey, you like doing this, you're not bad at it. We can go and do it if you want to do it. I'm like, no. That is what I don't want to do that, but that is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Right? So she let me contradict myself and let me find my own path and figure it out. I got to Olympic Taekwondo level, got injured, and that completely sidetracked my whole journey, right? So failure, not making it to the Olympics, Beijing. Moved
What
back.
year was that?
Beijing was 08 Olympics. So I would have been 17 years old competing if I was healthy and was able to get through, which is cool. That's like, you know, that's a pretty big accolade to try to go for, and I swung and I missed, you know. Didn't happen, but I had all these other things that I was exposed to, you know. After school programs had gymnastics in it. I started doing gymnastics at a young age. I started doing martial arts at a young age. Also, I started combining these two things because of capoeira. Now I'm starting to find this thing called tricking as a teenager. And martial arts tricking is a combination of different styles of martial arts like wushu, taekwondo, capoeira, gymnastics, and breakdancing. And it's all flowed together to make an expressive form of martial arts. Or a performance-based form of martial arts.
Crazy.
That's where you see like the guys doing like the
the
horizontal twists and they're swinging and all the stuff you see Chris Brown do. That's
because I used to see that
tricking.
stuff in like Tekken.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, so a lot of it's also stemmed from that. Like again, we all imitate and take from what we see. Right, and so here I am studying tricking and parkour in New York City again. Sheesh, I fall into I fall into like the underground hip hop dance scene in Harlem. So that's like the Harlem Shake, the Toe Wop, the Batman, all that stuff like that. And Breakfast Club was a prominent dance team at the time. Like I guess you could call them a dance team, but they were like a crew.
Yeah,
you know,
pull up,
they
like,
pull up and they
trains
battle,
and doing vibes, stuff like
you know,
that.
stuff like we'd session together. We pull moves out of each other and stuff like that. And that's like where I was like, okay, this is something I could do. Then I met this artist. This is really obscure stuff. This is like stuff that you really have to like Google while I'm saying these things. Jason Fox.
Okay.
Had a song called Aunt Jackie that came out back in the day. This is during the time of like the ringtone world. So we had sidekicks and ringtones when this was happening. And
The sidekick vibe, the snake game vibes.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right? And I started dancing behind him, like just for like $100 a show, $50 a show, just to make a little bit of money on the side. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. This is cool, you know? I'm still going to high school. I'm still in high school. And while I'm in high school, I'm practicing in this dance studio. And the dance instructor, this is a lot of talking for me, by the way. I don't really like to talk
He
this
doesn't.
much.
He really doesn't talk. He's usually behind the scenes the majority of his whole career. But
You know?
I'm pulling this out of him because this is my brother, and y'all
Yeah,
gotta
we
know
got a lot
this
to
story.
talk about. I just want to get through it.
Y'all gotta know this.
So I met my one of my first big mentors from my late teens to early 20s. His name was Doug Elkins, and he had a contemporary dance company.
Okay.
And he used to be a touring b-boy back in the day with the old school b-boys in the 80s. He would go to Japan, he'd go to Europe, and do these shows with these guys. And so he had a full understanding of what it meant to be an artist and a collaborative artist. And he taught me how to be an artist and a collaborative artist, which evolved into me becoming, my next step was moving to Los Angeles after high school, which
So you just jumped right out.
I just jumped. I went straight for it. You know, I went to LA on my like senior year summer vacation. I was supposed to only be there for like 2 weeks. I stayed for 2 months.
You was like, yeah, I'm doing this regardless.
Yeah, I just fell in love with the place.
Right.
You know, I could train every day. It seemed like there were opportunities here, and I booked I got my first music video, which was "I Can Transform You" with Chris Brown. So I was like, you know, like
What a start.
right. It's like, okay, cool. Like, and that was due to some sort of to some sense of a nepotism, right? I have a relation with Chris due to our upbringing in Harlem and through the family and stuff like that. So he was like, yeah, sure, come in, we'll do some ninja stuff, because he was already doing ninja stuff. So we were doing some martial arts stuff, and
And
we
you
were
were like,
flipping.
this is what I really
Yeah, and I was
do.
like, this is what I do, and he already knows that's what I do, because my nickname to the family was like Karate Kid.
Right.
And so I was like, all right, bet. And I told him, I was like, yo, I don't know what your deal is, but if you ever decide to have a background dancer, I'm down. And I just threw that at him. A year later, he calls me and is like, yo, I want you to do Yeah 3 times, and I want you to be one of my backup dancers for my upcoming tour for the next albums and so on and so forth. I was like,
Which album was that?
this was, it wasn't made yet, but this is Fame.
Ah,
This is Grammy, Chris.
Yes,
I got to be a part of Grammy, Chris.
wow.
At first, it actually was called Fame and Fortune. It was a double album that he wanted to do, and every song was banging, like every song. But of course, whatever the politics are when it comes to the heads of the recording labels,
label and stuff,
how
how
they
you
had,
put music
yeah,
out.
it's like how you distribute, how many songs you can put out. He had to cut it to just Fame, right? Forgive all my enemies, and so I'm dancing for him, and at the same time as being in LA, I'm living with these guys, right? A bunch of dope martial artists. There's 5 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment, in an apartment complex that's filled with another group of like 5 other amazing martial artists that are all pursuing stunts or some sort of entertainment industry, right? And so here I am learning how to navigate this world of professional dance while still being a martial artist, while still finding some sort of love in wanting to be Bruce Lee.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm still trying to be Bruce Lee. I'm still trying to be Jackie Chan, or at least it hadn't developed at that time yet to where it's like, no, I want to be a name that you say alongside Bruce Lee, alongside Jackie Chan, right? Right now it's like pure, like, I want to be them rather than I want to be me, but at that level.
Right.
So, training, working hard. Dancing is a lot of work, right? 8 hours a day doing dance choreography, getting yelled at by Rich and Tone, run the same choreography over and over and over again until it's drilled inside. And of course, I'm the guy who can flip. So I have to flip and dance.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know?
So you're basically doing everything
I'm
Chris
doing
is
everything. Right. So I'm there to also help Chris be better at the flips that he wants to do. Okay, Chris, you want to learn how to B-twist? I'll teach you how to B-twist. Okay, Chris, let's work on your 540 kick. Okay, Chris, let me teach you a Webster. Let's teach you a cork. Let's teach you all these different moves that's going to set you above. Right? Because at the time, in my head, it's competition. This is where we're at. Who are we lined up against right now?
And you
Chris?
like whoever's trying to do this dancing team.
We got to make sure you better than everybody. We got to
fact.
be better than everybody. We want to kill it. We want all the dancers to be killers. That's exactly what it is. And everybody has their own strengths. Now, I'm the weakest person of that team when I first got on, right? So you have Hefaleka, who has been a professional dancer since he was like 14 years old. Like, we're talking High School Musical, doing all that kind of stuff.
Oh, so he knows all forms.
Right. Randy Kemper, who has been dancing since Aaron Carter days, right? You have Timur Steffens, who just got off of the This Is It tour. You have Kento Mori, who's just got done with being on Madonna's tour. And then you have Reagan Miller and myself. And Reagan's at least been in the game as a professional dancer. Me, I'm just the guy that Chris was like, yo, put him in. And they're like, why are we putting this guy in, you know?
You
So they didn't understand it yet. Right. So I had to learn everything. So Rich and Tone had to reteach me what it means to dance in this backup commercial dance world. Right? And so that was the grind, the hustle. So it's like I have 8 hours a day rehearsals, but then when I'm home, I'm practicing my dance steps so that way I don't look as bad
when
I go back in there. So it looks like I'm actually improving. So I had to up my training in order to get there, which is the nerd aspect, right? We grew up watching Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Thundercats. So we already know that's all about the training.
The training is
if you're not training all day, you're not going to become the best.
No, you're not, never.
Right. So took that mindset and I was like, cool, let's do it. We're going to do, while I'm working on my dance choreography, we're also going to this gym called White Lotus and focusing on tricking and sharpening those skills. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm at Jam. I'm at White Lotus at the time. It's not Jam yet. And during my days off, like if we were off for like a month or two, a couple weeks before we had to get back into rehearsal, I would go to the open gym sessions that were in the daytime. And in the daytime, there's a lot of stunt people that come in.
So you're seeing all the elite.
So I'm meeting all the dope stunt guys. You're talking Arnold Chan, Aaron Toney, you know, the guys that will become James Young, who's the fight choreographer, fight coordinator, then stunt coordinator, second year director for a lot of the Marvel Russo brother films.
Wow.
Right? So I'm working with these guys and training with these guys, and they're like, you know, this is something you could do. And, you know, I'm like, yeah, this is fun. Like, screen fighting is really fun.
Right.
It's kind of, you get to have some of the adrenaline pump that you would get in a sparring match, but then you also get the performance aspect of being in a dance performance, right? So it combines both my worlds. And so I'm like, all right, this is dope. Like, let's go for it, you know? And so I start to taper down and really like hone in on this is what I need to get back to doing, which is the goal, right? Movies. We're supposed to be a movie star. I want to be a movie star. I want to be a movie star, goddammit.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, how do I get there without becoming a full-time dancer, and how do I do it without becoming a bartender or like a waiter or something like that?
Right.
I want my job.
Which is hard, living in LA,
right? You can't,
without having to become one of those things.
Because every actor in LA is a bartender or a waiter or has some other job. I wanted my job to take place on set. You know, so that way then I learn how to work on set. I know how to deal with being around celebrities. I know how to deal, which I already knew because I've been around Chris. I lived around Chris. I've seen how he interacts with people. I know how to interact. He's just a person to me, right? So I can look at everybody else and be like, you're just a person.
Yeah, no matter what level they are,
but
no matter
working,
how big
you know?
the superstar they are.
Exactly.
Right.
So here I am, finally like deciding like, you know what? I'm gonna have to stop dancing for Chris if I want to take this next step. As scary as it might be, I have to do this. You know, I have to make it happen.
And just drop that.
And I just dropped it.
Yeah, that's crazy. because most people would have been in that situation.
Right.
Where like, I'm gonna be here forever.
Right.
I'm gonna stay in this position.
And
forever.
it's not a bad position.
Right.
Like touring is fun. You get to see. I got to see the world with Chris. I got to go to Sydney more than 4 times. I got to go to Africa a bunch of times. And like I'm a kid from Harlem.
Right.
The farthest I got.
I'm seeing that, yeah.
Like
the furthest you got, we don't even see other boroughs.
Right. Exactly. Like
every borough is the same, damn near. Like you go to one borough, Harlem is not the same as the Bronx.
No.
Brooklyn is different.
Brooklyn
Jersey's
is completely different. Queens is different.
Totally
Staten
different.
Island, what?
It's a whole nother world. Staten
Right.
Island, I don't even think it's like. The only people that's relatable for there is Wu-Tang Clan. That's
Exactly.
all I could think of. I don't know anything else about
Yeah,
Staten Island.
I think that's all. In the ferry, they got some good
Yeah, the
pizza over
ferry.
there. They got some decent pizza over there. So I'm like, all right, like let's just go for it. So I let Chris and everybody know, like, yo, I'm not dancing no more.
Right.
That wasn't taken well.
I know he was like,
He was so
what are
mad.
you talking about?
He was very mad, very upset with me. He didn't understand what I was trying to do. But then most people don't understand what the hell I'm trying to do.
Right.
Until they see it's done.
Or what your goal is.
Right. So it's like I can tell you what my goal is, right? But your perception and perspective that has brought you to this point in your life right now, you may not have the visual to see what I'm seeing.
Right.
So when I say, "Oh, this is what I'm trying to do," he's like, "That don't make sense. I got you out here. You're dancing for me. I'm taking care of you. You're doing this stuff. Like you gotta like why you leaving? Why you can't leave? Why can't you do both?" And I'm like, I can't do both. I have to focus on one in order to get to that level.
In order to be mastered, to master
right,
that.
exactly. And unfortunately, you guys take too much time for me to be able to do both.
Right.
So we had to split our ways. And I worked hard. Got my first big break working on Captain America Winter Soldier.
To come on, ladies and gentlemen, for y'all to understand this clearly, you look me dead in my face right now. To come on to screen, your first ever project like that,
right?
This is forever. This is like hard work.
It is
even
completely.
when you was working in the background dancing, to get up to that and that to be your first gig.
Oh yeah,
like you could have did a whole bunch of TV shows,
right? And I did a whole bunch of free stuff before then, right? So I did a bunch of like YouTube videos, like of screen fights and stuff like that. That's how I have footage. That's usually the hardest thing that people go through when they're trying to like get into this industry. Is like, well, you need a reel in order to show the coordinators who are hiring you what you're good at and what your skills are. But how do you get the video footage if nobody's hiring you to do those set jobs, right? Yeah. So I worked on a lot of YouTube videos that would just allow me to showcase my abilities.
Right.
And so that way when
so it's basically like a reel for them to look at.
Exactly.
It's kind of like your own resume.
It's just something for them to look at, like, okay, I don't have a reel, but I have this fight scene I put online.
Which is your own resume.
Right.
You're developing your own.
And they're like, oh, cool. Like, oh, look, he can do this fall. He can take reactions well. He can throw a punch well. Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's throw him in. Let's see what happens. So what happened with Winter Soldier was James Young was given an opportunity to become fight coordinator, and he needed help filming some stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'll come in and be a body for you to do whatever you need to film. So I helped him do that, right? And then it came to the point where they're like, all right, we need guys. We need one dude to do this particular move. He had to do a Hong Kong spin. Hong Kong spin is a horizontal 360-degree turn or more, where you go up in the air, you spin horizontally, and then you hit the ground. However, they need me to do that and hit into the glass and break the glass with a bar that's at 4 feet height, right? Because we're inside the elevator. This is the elevator fight. And they were like, yo, we got a guy, this guy Guy. And the coordinator's like, Tom Harper is like, okay, who is he? Let me see. They show him the video. He's like, oh, he's actually talented. Okay, cool. What does he look like? We send him a headshot. He's like, he looks young. Tell him when he comes and has a headshot, make sure to grow as much facial hair as he can to look as old as he possibly can. I'm 23 years old.
Crazy,
bro. I look like a baby.
Right. And if you keep it with no hair, you're gonna look like you 19.
Oh man, bad. I would look 16 probably. 16 with the body of an 18-year-old. And I was like, all right, cool. I sent him more stuff, and they're like, yeah, you're on. I was like, oh, okay, cool, dope. So it started driving to Long Beach every morning at like 6 a.m. with a bunch of guys. I didn't have a car at the time. I'm still a New Yorker. And I've been here for like 3 years now. And I'm riding with James, Chris Brewster, who's like the Daredevil stunt double, and at the time he was Captain America stunt double.
Crazy.
Man, it's like thinking back about it right now. I'm like seeing it, like those drives, those long ass drives from here in the valley to Long Beach every morning to go train and to go previs the action stuff that they needed us to do for that elevator fight scene for 2 weeks. I think we rehearsed and then we shot for 2 weeks, and
That's some serious practicing, man.
because we have to get it perfect, right? You want it to be right. You want the actor to be comfortable. You want to be safe on set, and the best way to be safe on set is to be highly prepared. And so we were highly prepared. They had the money to keep us there and to have us, work our asses off for as long as we did. And we finally shot that. It evolved into a month, into 2 months, 3 months of work for me. Being a young 23-year-old and being around I was the baby of
around all of the guys.
all the older guys. All these guys have been like doing stuff that I was watching, that we were watching as kids, bro. You know, like the first Iron Man. You're the double. You were the first Iron Man double. Like those kind of things that you hear from these other stunt guys that you're around is just like mind-boggling. Oh, you were also Wolverine.
Yeah, but these are the guys that are the real superheroes.
Right.
Me.
So these
Anybody
guys were
that's
heroes.
in the suit, they're heroes. These
Facts.
are the real heroes, not the actor. The actor, by any means, I love the actor. Peace
gotta give him
and
some
love to
love, too.
all the actors because we need to watch dialogue. But the
Right.
stuff that I grew up in, as far as the comic book stuff,
Right.
it is the hero. That's why we buy these shirts. That's why we buy this clothes. That's why we buy everything.
That's absolutely true. So like here I am, like, oh, this is so dope. I'm meeting all these guys. They're putting me under their wing. They're like trying to show me the ropes and give me as much information as they possibly can without giving me too much information. I found out, and I just started building. From that point on, it's just started growing and growing. I worked on Guardians of the Galaxy. I worked on Thor 2. I worked on Elder Scrolls. I did some video game stuff. I did some more movies, and then I get called on to audition for Captain America: Civil War. I was like, okay, yeah, I want to audition for the squad. James is already a part of it.
That's Cap, right?
No, he was Winter Soldier's double.
Oh wow.
Sam Hargrave is Captain America's stunt double at the time. He then became stunt coordinator and the stunt double for Cap. And they called me in to rehearse, to do like an audition type thing. And I come in, I do some fight choreography with a partner, and then they swap it and we have to switch sides. So I'm learning the choreography, but I have to also know his side of the choreography because
you need to know what to anticipate.
I gotta know both. Because they can swap us. So I teach you some choreography right now. You go right, straight, left, straight, right hook, right? And then the response to that is supposed to be slip, slip, weave under. I have to be able to also not only do the slip, slip, go under, I should also be able to throw the punches.
Yeah.
So when they say, all right, swap, now I'm throwing the punches and you're doing.
And you got to understand that right off the rip.
And then the choreography is definitely not that easy. So I do the choreography. Actually, some of my roommates are there, my older roommates. They're also there to audition / rehearse. And these guys I look to as being better than me at tricking, better than me at a lot of things.
Right.
They have more experience in the stunt game than I do at the time as well. But I was like, I'm here now. Let's make it happen. And I just decided to perform. I use all the skills that I've brought from me up to this point. The acting on the stage for school projects, the dancing at the dance studios with my mom, the martial arts training that I did
all in front of you, like,
just
this
put
is
it all into one, and it's like, all right, the best thing I can do is give them a character, and I want to be what character? Black Panther, because I know he's going to be there.
That is it.
Right, so I'm like, boom.
But no one else knew. No one else knew.
Right, everybody.
People were speculating it, the nerds.
Yeah.
But the world was shocked to see Black Panthers on screen pop up.
Well, it
was hinted.
They said it was going to happen in 2014 that Black Panther was supposed to come out. They weren't sure when he was going to come out, but they announced that was going to happen. And I put on a white erase board in 2014, Black Panther 2015. I put that on the whiteboard, and I swear to God, in 2015 of January, I got the phone call saying I was going to be the stunt double and I was going to be flying out and at the end of February, beginning of March, to Atlanta to work on Civil War as Black Panther stunt double. So that's the story to that.
That's so sick, though,
Right?
man. That's the coolest story of all time.
It's been cool, you know.
Yeah.
You get put in a lot of hot seats. Now, like to talk about like some hot seats that I've been put in terms of being a performer. Another example of another cool thing I got to be was Leonardo in Ninja Turtles.
Speaking of Leonardo,
Right.
is something I brought, which is this is kind of crazy because
Okay.
I knew you was a Ninja Turtle.
Right.
I'm a Raphael fan, heavy. Like I'm
Okay.
heavy Raphael, but Leonardo is my brother's favorite, and then my second favorite is Donatello, and I brought some. You know what I'm saying? With me, shout out to Lids. This is a collaboration with Liz.
What?
This is Donatello right here. Shout out to my boy Mumfu
This is
over at, doing the Liz creative director. And this right here, as you can see, doesn't that remind you of Don?
That's Donnie. That's dope.
Yeah, man. And I already know you be
Yeah.
putting the drip on, so I gotta, one of the only people that's in the Marvel universe I feel that be putting some crazy drip on and people that don't know about. You feel me?
Hey, sometimes I'm still from Harlem.
Yeah, but look, this is I'll tell you, one of my goals is streetwear superhero, and I want to make that happen. I want to make that happen, and I feel like while we're on air right now, I'm putting this on wax, we will be in a film together about streetwear superheroes with hip hop. We're gonna make that happen.
We're gonna make it. You are
promise
definitely one to make things happen. I've watched you make things happen. You are constantly making stuff happen. I call you a magician. It's pretty impressive. Like for real, you make me feel like more of a muggle than anything else, and that's more nerd talk.
Nah, but bro, it's cool when people say that they're like happy for their friends or any type of thing like that. But I'm like your biggest fan. Like I'm a fan. You know what I'm saying? Like you see, I came with the whole Marvel get up. I brought my Marvel jacket. I got the Black Panther patch right here on this Marvel jacket. I'm gonna have you sign it.
Okay.
Because I'm a real fan of Guy Dasilva, and we signing it right now on air. You feel me?
No, I am not this cool.
My boy got his sign.
I'm really not this cool.
Look, and it's a pen I bought from London.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I need that. That's solidified right there. You know what I'm saying? I got to get the Guy Dasilva, John Hancock right on that. First Black Panther ever. Yeah, look, on screen, you see it. It's official.
It's done.
It happened. It's real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then look, this right here, I'm keeping this for the rest of my life. So fire, bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you.
And like I just need to give them a little bit more. I gotta give them a little bit more because we got a certain amount of time that we do, but I gotta give them a little bit more. Isn't it ironic that you did I Could Transform You and you were a transformer? Let's get to that.
Okay.
What's the chances of that?
Yeah, that's pretty wild too. So I've gotten multiple opportunities to be a transformer. So I'm not sure when this comes out, but I worked on the new Transformers that's coming out that they announced, Beast Wars. But I've also worked on Age of Extinction with Marky Mark. And I got to be a little bit of Optimus Prime, a little bit of Galvatron, and a little bit of Bumblebee in that version of the film. Okay, so I was talking about being put in the hot seat, right? And there's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I'm in rehearsals. They're doing rehearsals at nighttime at 8711. And we're talking, we start at 8 and we don't leave till 8 a.m.
Right.
And I'm double dipping. I'm working on this and I'm working on another short movie thing. And I just remember coming in one day and J.J. Perry, who is the director of Day Shift.
Right.
He's
great film.
He's really good film, right? Really good action, amazing action. Stunt guy that became a stunt coordinator that became a second unit director, and now is a first unit director. He walks up to me with a laptop and he's like, "Hey, you got 30 minutes to learn this fight. You're taking Jeremy's spot because Jeremy is leaving to work on another movie, and the director's coming in 30 minutes to watch us do it live."
Yo.
Turns out that Jeremy's Leonardo. So now I have to be Leo. And I have to perform as Leo through this whole, do over 16 beats of choreography with story beats with my friends, luckily, who are great fight partners, dance partners to work with. But I had to do all this in 30 minutes. And I went out and performed it and didn't get yelled at. So I didn't get fired. So I got the job. And then I did mocap for that fight scene and some of the other extra stuff that we did later
Which
on.
which TMT was it?
This was the one where they're really big.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I to be fair, I don't like the really big turtles. I'm more of the OG.
Ninja
Right.
Turtles.
1, 2, and 3 are amazing. People sleep on 3. 3 is really good.
Yeah.
People sleep on 3. But the original 3 Ninja Turtle movies are still my favorite
Me
to
too.
this day.
Do you think you could have been inside the suit? You feel like you could have?
What? I would have killed it. I would have loved
Them
to have
suits.
been.
You think them suits were heavy? I
Oh,
always thought about it.
definitely. Yeah, one of my mentors that I actually have right now is Stephen Ho, and he was Donatello.
Wow, the
Yeah.
chances of that.
Exactly. Look at that. It's all coming
It all comes full circle.
Because of course we live in a circular planet,
Yes.
not a plate. So those same people that I worked with worked for in Ninja Turtles also were the people I worked for that put me on Transformers this first time.
Wow.
And again, I was with with my guys who I came to Los Angeles and lived with. These guys are amazing, and I would consider myself less than, not as great.
Correct.
But they are so great. And
Nah,
I'm
you're not
great.
less than, man.
I'm not.
You're excellent, man.
I
You're
would
the
say
biggest. I think you're the biggest.
I'm gonna say I'm the best, and that's because if I don't say I'm the best, nobody else is probably gonna say
No
I'm
one's
the
ever
best.
going to say it. They'll
Right.
keep you as quiet as possible.
Exactly.
Meanwhile,
So-
you're the best, and then there's somebody else to claim it and be like, bro, he's not even that good.
Right. So here I am, like working with my friends again. They're really talented. I'm like, all right, cool. What can I do to make myself be useful and stand out? And that's what I did. I made myself useful and was able to stand out by using the skills that I had that they didn't have. Which dancing background again, my performance background again. Yeah, you might be able to out trick me, out twist me, out flip me, but it's how I do my moves. It's
And
not
the
about
stuff you're acting with it, and it's
Exactly.
different. It's different
Right.
body
It makes
movements.
it different. It makes it look like it's more original and something new and
And more human.
sincere.
I feel like it looks more human.
Facts.
Like it looks like if somebody can possibly do this.
Right. But we also don't want to look too human because it's robots now, right? So I got to do that. I got to be a Transformer, which is really cool. I checked that off my list. So, and before I even got to be Black Panther, I got to be Deadpool for a little bit.
No, I didn't know this. He
So-
was Deadpool. He was fucking Deadpool. That's crazy, man.
So I worked with Phil
So you put the
Silvera.
suit on.
No, I didn't get the. I did all the mocap.
Okay.
So they did a lot of mocap stuff in the beginning to
Which is the first one.
Yeah, for the first one.
Which was the hardest one to me.
Right. Thanks. So I was one of the 4 guys that they used to do movements for Deadpool for their pre-vises that led up to all the action scenes that you see in that film. So like I had to do the whole the highway fight. I got to do a part of that. The
You
whole end
did
fight. I got
that?
to do a part of that.
When he
Bits and
took the
pieces.
smoke up the nose when he
Yeah,
inhaled the
all the stupid stuff, right?
This is the sickest shit, though.
And being able to be a part of the creative aspect of it, of finding those funny moments. What would be funny? What would be cool? What would be cool for the character to do, and so on and so forth.
But
and
knowing this, though,
right,
comics.
my
you
nerd
know-
synapse goes off.
Yeah, you know this
Right.
stuff. You know this character.
Right. So I'm like, oh, it would be cool if we do this. Like, this is something that he would do. Something like this he would do. And
Did
they're
you
like,
get
oh,
to
yeah.
meet Ryan?
No, I didn't get
You have to meet him.
I hope so.
Ryan, you got to
Honestly-
meet my boy Gee, man.
Honestly,
He's the man.
Ryan is probably my favorite part about Deadpool because of all the promos that he does for Deadpool are
Yeah.
hilarious.
I just saw the good one. He just
the one
cut
with
on
Hugh was
Wolverine.
so good.
You bringing Hugh back is so sick. If anyone could bring him back, it would be
It
him.
would be him. It would be him. So, like, I've done these things. I've worked my ass off to get there. And now I'm at the point where I just want a new challenge. And I want to step further into what it is I want to go for, which is that movie star.
I feel like you could be any star and play the stunts and do everything.
I
That's rare
think
that
so,
people
too.
can do everything
Right.
and act during those parts.
And that's what, like, I want to bring. That's how I put my name up with Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, Tom Cruise, Guy Dasilva.
And that's what's gonna happen.
You know?
Exactly what you're saying.
Exactly.
We're gonna be looking at your star on the floor
Oh yeah,
We're gonna be doing the whole
We're gonna put the
thing.
handprint in there.
Yeah,
and
it's gonna
everything
happen.
with the cheesy smile.
It's exactly because
man.
everything you said that was gonna happen happened. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like, let's get. I want to get something else. We got a few more minutes. I want to get something else. I need my guy to let us know. Can you give us any sound bites of what's gonna happen in the future? Anything that you working on that you could give a little snippet or I don't know, some little thing they could be like, you know, the nerds is watching this and they're listening for sure. Shout out to iHeart.
Well, one thing's for sure, my dog needs to stop humping our cameraman.
All right, so can you give us some exclusive insight on any of the stuff that you're usually not supposed to say?
Right.
Needed exclusive for Flash Garments podcast.
Man, you gonna get me in trouble.
I need the exclusive.
So some things that you guys may not have seen yet. Netflix and Corridor did a collaboration and we made a show called Punch for Punch, which is a behind-the-scenes look at the action that's done in some of our favorite Netflix original shows like Cobra Kai, Day Shift, Stranger Things, and The Witcher. They're on their YouTube channel right now, still watching Netflix, but we've put it in a format that is like perfect for their actual streaming. So if people actually watch it and give like good feedback, I think Netflix is actually going to put it on their streaming and we'll get greenlit for like another season.
Yeah.
And
So it's out already, so we can go and see that.
Y'all can go see it right now.
All right, we got to put a link of that.
How difficult it is to be a professional stunt driver.
Yeah, we know we got some expensive cars and expensive cameras on the line.
Not to mention my life, Nico.
Not to mention your life, so don't crash.
Yeah, I won't crash, but I might just hit him with it.
And we put the link right now down there,
Yo,
so y'all
link
can go
is
check it out.
down there. Check it out in the descriptions, you know, and comment that you saw it and this is where you saw it. This is how you got there, right? And so we can cross that pollination.
You know what I'm saying? And bring y'all into the world of the
this,
coolness.
right?
You know?
Another thing that I worked on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Sick.
I'm not gonna say what I did in it, but just know I worked on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And we'll leave it at that for that.
To be continued.
There's some other stuff. There's some big video games coming out that I've worked on. IMDb already put it out there. God of War, the new one. Check that out.
What?
I'm not gonna say what I did on that either. Go check it out.
He's going crazy. He's going crazy right now.
And I mean, you introduced me to Swerve, which is very interesting.
Yes.
It's very interesting.
Shout out to my boy Swerve. You know what I'm saying? AEW's finest.
I mean, I think he's probably one of the best wrestlers out there right now, performer-wise and talent-wise.
Definitely.
But I'm just going to leave it that you introduced me to Swerve, and we've had some very interesting conversations, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Fuck it, I'm leaking it, man.
Nah,
we doing
you can't leak it. You can't leak it.
Because I'm a part of this too, man. And we're going to do some things, man. You're going to see me acting and doing my little chops.
I also look, okay, fine, we can talk about that. I get to,
yeah, not only you writing it, you're directing it, man. You're doing the music video that will air AEW, TBS, and TNT.
There you go. He said it.
And yes, Flash Garments will be in this. I did the theme song. Me and Swerve did it together. And Guy will be directing the video and participating in the video.
Yeah, I'll be in the video for a little bit. For a little bit of it.
But you're going to see some fighting and you're going to see some cool ass shit.
Yeah, we're just going to try to bring like the stuff that you see, you know? Like you guys watched UALA. I think. If not, check out UALA and then you'll see what kind of like work that I like to align myself with and do. Right? But yeah.
I'm excited.
I mean, it's late. My puppy's being wild. I need to go to bed because I got to wake up early.
To conclude this thing that we call the Underappreciated Podcast, what is some advice you could tell the children at home that want to one day become Guy Dasilva?
Yo, stay focused on your vision. Just because other people can't see it doesn't mean that it can't be done. Everybody says it's impossible till it's possible, right? So whatever you do, don't give up. I had a bunch of people looking at me being like, why would you want to do that? And here I am doing it, and now they're all like, wow, it's amazing that you're doing that. So stay true to the path, work hard, and just trust yourself and trust the process. It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes work.
Amen. So you heard it from the man himself. Here on the Underappreciated Podcast. You are appreciated, my brother.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
I love you, my brother.
Love you too.
I appreciate you.
Yo.